about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's your boy Bliss Entertainer.
Shawty, ain't shit changed, it's just a different day. I'm working like a slave, I bend my knees and then I pray. It's like we living for today and ain't no hope for tomorrow. Just gunshots and mamas crying and broken bottles. Really this ain't living, knowledge that's a given. I can't fight the feeling, we trapped like a prison.
If you know what I'm saying, do your homework. If you're trapped doing numbers, you got your own work. Yeah, make the money, but the money don't make me. Jealousy and envy, now these niggas hate me. Plotting on another man. I don't think you about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power.
We got them choppers that'll have you flying high. No private jets, just high and by. In the clouds flying by. I'm on the airlift, man, I'm out of here. Loving how the world is one when a new dance come out. That part be so hard, that way get paid. Lyrically, telepathically, and magnetizing everything. You know I'm from the A. We getting bread, we eating cake, so it's okay. I got my mind on my money on my. You gotta be there if you really want it. Gotta survive to thrive. That's just the way it is. And if you knew your purpose, then you would truly live.
Work, then you won't eat. I'm just trying to hustle, trying to stay on my feet. It's a cold world, ain't shit sweet. Survival of the fittest when you out in these streets. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power.
What's going on? My hair or the neck? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MindShift Monday. Hopefully you can hear me pretty good. We're about to get started. I'll go ahead and take that off the loop. Go ahead and turn this music down. Welcome to MindShift Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, if you're coming in on the replay, or if for some reason you found this on another platform such as Spotify, or even on our main website, and just checking out the episodes, I appreciate you for viewing. You can share, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and also if you are on Facebook, because I think we're still streaming to Facebook as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and change up. Yeah, we can take that off. All right, so today, I told you guys previously, I've been telling y'all that I was going to switch up MindShift Monday, so we can go ahead and start exploring more topics, or just more information that people, just to bring awareness. It's a lot of conversations that are being had or that we're having, that we're having. And so we might as well just really get into some real stuff that can pique our interest and really make us be more aware of our surroundings, if you want to. In no way, shape, or form, because I know some people, when new information comes in, you got to be ready to be able to take it in. So some people know their limits. You got to take it in bits and pieces. And some people can just digest information and go from there. But, today, MindShift Monday, we're going to go ahead and get into the topic of what is space weather. All right. So, what is space weather? All right. So, I've got a few things for you guys. Not only are we going to get into space weather and what is it, we're also going to get into why is it important, what does it affect, okay, what is actually going on right now, just a little bit. I'm not going to go too heavy. I just want to pique your interest, okay? I only want to give you information that could be useful, so the next time you walk outside and feel a gust of wind, you know where it came from. It also could have came from another country too. It could have came from a million other places, but the main thing is the fact that space weather does affect us on the planet, and it does affect our local weather, which is why the weatherman can never get it right. All right. I looked at the app for Atlanta one day, and it clearly said flurries after it was 88 degrees the day before. I'm not falling for it no more. I'm just stepping out. I'm looking outside. Is the chipmunk outside? Okay, then that means it's good weather. If the chipmunk is not outside, that means it's cold. All right? Sign of the times, signs of nature. All right, so also, yeah, we're just gonna get into a few questions. So always, welcome to MindShift Monday, where we step out of our mundane and routine way of thinking, the normal, yah, yah, rah, rah, and we step into and we shift into a higher perspective. All right. We exercise everything else. So why not exercise the way that we think and the way that we see things so that we can gain a new perspective, especially in this new world that we're heading into and that we're actually in right now. All right. So, of course, these video streams are coming from a heart based frequency. And if you've been paying attention to the auroras, then you know what time it is. And that's dealing with space weather as well and energy. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right. So, also, one more thing, because of course, even if you're looking at this in a later timeline, I'm sure this is still relevant. But March 27th, I am actually officially launching 13 Intentions program. And yeah, you can sign up here. Let me go ahead and put the link up here for y'all. It'll be leadingwhilelearning.com/13 intentions. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I put this up here for y'all. Actually, not as that. I'll get it to you. I'll put it up here. All right. It'll be in the description as well in the video. But you can go to leadingwhilelearning.com/13 intentions. There's no coupon code. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring up space weather. All right. Enter the chat. Oh, there's a lot going on right here. What's going on? All right, you guys. So I'm looking at something. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Bear with me, y'all. You know how technology is. I just all right. So today, dealing with space weather. All right. Actually, let me take that out for a minute. Okay, so dealing with space weather, and I'm gonna bring this up. All right, so just the basics of what is space weather. It's pretty easy information that can be looked up anywhere. We're in the age of Aquarius. Information is plentiful, but this is for your awareness, and you can do your own research because, as always, what do I present? Do your own research, okay? It's imperative that you do your own research and actually find other people who are doing the same research as well. That's a beautiful thing. So, yeah. All right. So, space weather is a condition in the region of space close to the Earth. All right. Especially the presence of electromagnetic radiation and charged particles emitted by the sun that can affect human activity and technology. Y'all have to excuse me. I do wear glasses and it's looking a little blurry. All right. All right. So that's a basic intro to space weather. All right. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up today is because of the weather changes. A lot of things that are going on again locally in your local neighborhood, just in general, is dealing with space weather. And maybe during the pandemic, I did another video dealing with the coronavirus and the frequencies and the names of the viruses or the strains or whatever they were calling them at that time. and basically how it seemed to be relative to not only brainwave frequencies, but also coronal mass ejections dealing with space weather. So, of course, they say that it doesn't necessarily harm people because it doesn't, but certain types of radiation does cause will affect humans. Okay. All right. So let's keep moving forward here. All right. So why is this important? Is really what I want to get into. So again, I just wanted to bring awareness to the fact that it, is it a coincidence, right? Between the coronal holes, right, that come from the sun, that happen on the sun, and the coronavirus, right? Is there a difference? That's something that I think we should have a research group, our own research group, where people are actually researching these different things and bringing up the real information. Now, there are people out here doing this, and they've probably already brought this information about, but as a collective or just as, even mind small groups that just come together and say, hey, let's look further into this. These are things that we should really be researching. Even the youth should definitely be involved in these types of things as well, because coming into these new and future timelines, I think it will be very important for the simple fact that we have a space program now for the United States. Not only that, but everybody's heading out of space, right? So, it's just the same way with everything else, even dealing with technology. There are just certain things that, you know, we should be aware of and be a part of. Yeah, and then we just kind of evolve from there. All right. So let's see where I really want to hit. All right. So dealing with the cosmic rays. And a lot of this information that I have today comes from spaceweather.com. So it's pretty straightforward. All right. Very much so straightforward. Let's see what else. So just so we can have an idea of some examples of space weather headlines. All right. The headlines for the past week, all right, have been a few of these. So we're dealing with the big corona hole, sunspots, plasma, magnetic impact. We're dealing with ultra dense eruptions, earthquakes, ozone destructions. All right. Solar tornado erupts. This man is walking on the sun. Massive tornado on the sun. That's what's going on. It's supposed to be a massive tornado on the sun. All right, but yeah, it's other things, and there's another story for that too as well, probably. There's also another solar tornado that erupts, weird earthquakes, ocean shutdown, solar watch. The impact that this also has on animals, and I learned today, even bacteria. So if it affects bacteria, then it definitely affects us, because we also have bacteria within us. And right here, suspicious observers, not only did he mention bacteria, but he also mentioned the digestive tract. So, as we move forward, even going back to the live stream where I spoke about nature, health, and wealth, this too is still a part of nature and health. And depending on how the trends go, when they're looking at their technical analysis of, the spikes and trends of the timeline of all of these different things, You know, you never know, it may affect our money too. So I just wanted to bring the awareness of these different headlines so that way you're aware of what's going on. Again, this is the YouTube channel Suspicious Observers, so shout out to them. So the information is out here if you want to learn more. They literally upload videos every single day, giving an update on what's going on, and they have books. So, yeah. All right. So next, this one right here is actually something that occurred today, and they actually describe basically a large hole in the sun's atmosphere. A large hole has opened in the sun's atmosphere, and it is spewing a stream of solar wind toward Earth. And this is today. Now, the reason why I really wanted to bring this up as well, hold on, was because of the fact that it actually will not, a lot of things that happen on the sun or within space weather usually takes about 2 to 3 days to actually get to us. So by the time it happens on the sun, the wind gust spits out solar wind, as you can see. And then, as they said right here, so this is a coronal hole, a region in the sun's atmosphere where magnetic fields open up and allow solar wind to escape. It looks dark in this ultraviolet image because glowing hot gas normally contained there is missing. The solar wind will reach Earth on March 23rd through the 24th, only a few days after the spring equinox, right? So, and they mentioned that that's the perfect time for aurora chasers. And if you're not familiar with an aurora, I'm gonna just show you a nice, pretty picture. All right, so anytime we see those beautiful lights, we get the aftermath. So anytime we see the beautiful sunset or even a beautiful sunrise, you know, in our part of the world, it is due to the auroras. And they produce these beautiful lights of energy, just emitting from the activity going on with the sun rays and everything of that nature. Again, this can go a lot further than just space weather, but this is just the intro to the awareness of what we can just be aware of and have more knowledge of, because I feel like it will be very imperative coming into the future timelines of what we'll be doing here on Earth. All right. And this should also be a part of like a STEM class. So if you're a science teacher or, you know, a part of that world in any type of way, this would be a great project, or, you know, different things that can be introduced again to the youth. So that way they can already have their hands involved in what's going on outside and affecting Earth. All right, so next up, this is also an example of an image that was occurring on the sun. All right. And I know some people are probably like, oh, I don't want to know what's going on. I don't want to know because it's making me feel like we're at the end of the world. This stuff has been going on forever. So a lot of people are afraid of new information as though it's new. It's not new. We're just becoming more aware of it. And trust me when I tell you, if I'm presenting it now, you know, I became more of aware of it going on almost a decade ago now. So if I'm becoming more aware of it, I mean, if I'm presenting it, then that means that eventually it's going to become a thing that we're going to have to pay attention to, especially if we need to pay attention to our bodies. The sun has plasma. We have plasma. All right. Our connections to the sun, our connections. That's why we like to be outside. That's why, in the sun, sunbathing, and being melanin dominant, you know, we charge up, right? So there is a very big, what's the word I'm looking for? Not coincidence. There are similarities for the reason why the sun has plasma, why we have plasma, which is blood, why you like plasma TVs, okay? But I've already went into that before, but not too far. But there's just a reason. Why would they create a plasma TV? Why would we have plasma? Why do they have plasma banks? Why does the sun have plasma? These are questions that we should be asking and actually getting the answers to. All right. So, yeah, so we're going to keep going. Okay, so that's it for right there. And then right here is just a really good example of what it actually looks like when these things occur, and also when, pretty much you can see it's almost like a time frame right here where this is pretty much how it's traveling. So you have solar flares, coronal holes, sunspots, solar cycles, and we actually are in a solar cycle. All right. Even radio emissions, coronal mass ejections, and again, I'm bringing the awareness to the relevance of coronavirus and coronal holes, coronal mass ejections, solar flares, plasma. Not only that, before I jump into my next thing that's going to spin off of this, anyway, so we have solar radiation storms, solar wind, and then you also have the magnetic sphere, geomagnetic storms. So this is the Earth pretty much, sending out the waves to protect the atmosphere from debris, from, really getting this energy too harshly, right? Because there's a lot going on right now as far as nature, health, and wealth. Okay. And between these two energies, between these two interactions, we are being affected. So it's something to take into consideration when you're thinking about why do you feel a certain way outside of our regular emotions, outside of the regular things going on in the world. It's okay to take a moment and just to be like, you know what? Why do I feel this way? If we actually had more education about these specific things and how they interact with the body and our plasma, and really knowing what our cells are doing in real time, outside of just, doing the regular tests and things, I think we would be way ahead of where we are right now. But I also feel like we're headed there because we're having the conversation. So shout out to MindShift Monday and everyone else who have already been on the forefront of this type of news, whether it's dealing with this, whether it's dealing with the earth resonance and frequencies, sound frequencies, vibrations, all of those different things are really going to be at the forefront of how we're taking in certain aspects of just everything in the world. So just pay attention to yourself, pay more attention to your body, pay more attention to, just the subtle things that are happening around you. When you see that wind blow outside of a car passing by, there's a ripple effect for everything. So, what is going on? All right. And I know these words can probably also be a little intimidating if you haven't just really been immersed in this community, because even still now for myself, I still am learning more as well. So again, this is just like almost like an intro, like a pretty much like a briefing to the intro of a 101 class or something like that, where we're just going glazing over what is to come. All right. So let's exit here. And I'm not even gonna tell y'all about the fireballs. Y'all don't want to know about the fireballs. Y'all too scary. But we do have fireballs, and today they only reported 4 fireballs. So that's amazing. I mean, I've seen, I think I've seen more. I've seen where they've had like 15 in the atmosphere or something. 4 is great. And these lines that are swooping through are color coded. The fireballs that are color coded, and how they're just moving around between the earth and the sun, and just even their proximity as well. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. All right. So we are pretty much rounding out where we are. So let me just give y'all this information right here. So dealing with cosmic rays, and it may seem like I'm bouncing around, but I just want to again make sure that we're getting this information. So dealing with cosmic rays um, from space weather, because I want to make sure I reference what I'm reading. Cosmic rays are surprisingly down to earth form of space weather. They can alter the chemistry of the atmosphere, trigger lightning, and penetrate commercial airplanes. I thought this was very important because still we're dealing with corona. I'm still thinking about coronavirus, corona holes, corona beer. No, I'm just playing. But so according to a study from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, crews of aircraft have higher rates of cancer than the general population. And researchers listed cosmic rays, irregular sleep habits, and chemical contaminants as leading risk factors. Okay. A number of controversial studies also go even further, linking cosmic rays with cardiac arrhythmias and sudden cardiac death. All right. So again, we're still on a heart-based frequency where we're still paying attention to the heart. Why is the heart so important? You know, why would that be such a main thing? I think um, heart health, heart disease are pretty much one of the number one reasons for death in, I don't know if it's the world, but I know at one time in the United States, that was one of the prominent reasons. And so it's just very important that we just continue to pay more attention to ourselves. Nature, health, and wealth. I should have named this Nature, Health, and Wealth Part 2, Space Weather, but we're going to keep the ball rolling. I just wanted to make sure that the awareness is here, um, and to also make the connections as well. Again, before we end this out, you can go to leadingwhilelearning.com/13 intentions. That's 13 intentions, intentions. And if you want to join the program March 27th, you can do so. In the meantime, in between time, we're going to go ahead and end this heart-based frequency live stream and go ahead and call it a day. I do appreciate everybody that will be replaying this video. We'll also be sharing this episode on Spotify and on the website as well eventually. So, yeah, appreciate everybody. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys soon. And have a wonderful evening and a great rest of your week. All right. Peace.
If you don't work, then you won't eat. I'm just tryna hustle, tryna stay on my feet. It's a cold world, ain't shit sweet. Survival of the fittest when you out in these streets. It's all about the money and the power. 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 It's your boy Bliss Entertainer.
Shawty, ain't shit changed, it's just a different day. I'm working like a slave, I bend my knees and then I pray. It's like we living for today and ain't no hope for tomorrow. Just gunshots and mamas crying and broken bottles. Really this ain't living, knowledge that's a given. I can't fight the feeling, we trapped like a prison.
If you know what I'm saying, do your homework. If you're trapped doing numbers, you got your own work. Yeah, make the money, but the money don't make me. Jealousy and envy, now these niggas hate me. Plotting on another man. I don't think you understand. Then you won't eat. I'm just tryna hustle, tryna stay on my feet. It's a cold world, ain't shit sweet. Survival of the fittest when you out in these streets. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power. It's all about the money and the power.
We got them choppers that'll have you flying high. No private jets, just high and by in the clouds flying by. I'm on the airlift, man, I'm out of here. Loving how the world is one when a new dance come out. That part be so hard, that way get paid. Lyrically, telepathically, and magnetizing everything. You know I'm from the A. We getting bread, we eating cake, so it's okay. I got my mind on my money on my. You gotta be there if you really want it. Gotta survive to thrive. That's just the way it is. And if you knew your purpose, then you would truly
If you
live.
don't work, then you won't eat. I'm just tryna hustle, tryna stay on my feet. It's a cold world, ain't shit sweet. Survival of the fittest when you out in these streets. It's all about the money and the